Now that is a very impressive collection of motor cars. One of the most famous and most successful names in motor racing is McLaren. How successful? Well, about this successful. Just some of the literally hundreds of cups which McLaren have won in their 30 years of motor racing. However, for the 1997 season, McLaren have a new sponsor and a new image. And if you want to see something rather exciting, come with me. This is the West McLaren Mercedes workshop, although to call it a workshop is a little unfair. It's more like a laboratory. It's incredibly clean down there because they're working with high-tech components. That's because the cars are actually manufactured here. 85% of the car is made in this room. Some of the bits, like the engine and the wheels, are bought in, but if you need a car, this is the kind of facility you need to build it. There's everything here: carbon fibre, paint shops, cutting machines. Doesn't look very interesting from up here, but come and see it in close-up. No, it's not an anorak, it's a car. In fact, it's one of the test cars. This is the testing bay, the dedicated part of the McLaren team which goes out and develops the car so it goes faster and wins races. This guy looks like he's a surgeon working with a surgeon's knife. What are you actually doing there?
Just cleaning up the edges. We get a lot of paint build up, so we need to just make sure we clean this up and cleaning all these sort of holes up, and then we just give it a wax and get it over to car build. So
and that's actually a nose cone of a car, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
And it's the cleanest bit of a car I've ever seen. Thank you very much. I said it was clean here, didn't I? Now that is a lovely paint job, and this is the man who did it, Mike. How many coats of paint are there on this car?
It's hard to say because we're fatting off certain coats and then putting some more on and everything, and then we put the lacquer on, fat it off and polish it. So we're trying to keep the weight down all the time.
And why is it so warm in this room?
Well, we just had to bake it for about half an hour to actually flat the paint off. It's now dry.
It's been baked?
Yeah, it's been baked, about 60°C.
So we're in an oven?
Yeah, we're in an oven, yeah.
I thought it was hot in here.
Yeah, it will get cool down.
Now that is a heck of a weight. It's a bit bigger than the usual fuel filler. This is the fueling system which plugs in the side of the car and dumps fuel at a very fast rate. Paul, how fast does the fuel go in?
It's about 12 litres a second.
Why does it have to be so heavy?
Well, it's for aircraft, prominently, for refuelling aircraft on the ground.
All right.
We do the car a bit quicker.
Being as you're not carrying this on the car, it doesn't need to be light, I suppose.
No, that's correct.
All right, Paul, I'm learning all the time. Thank you very much indeed. Can I give you this? Because I don't think I can bend down again.
Of course.
Thank you. They look like jewellery, but they're actually wheel nuts. And watch this. That wheel nut weighs exactly 130 grams. And so does that one. And so does that one. In fact, all these wheel nuts weigh exactly the same. But there are two types of wheel nuts for a Formula 1 car. Some have a left-hand thread and some have a right-hand thread. That's so that the wheels on both sides of the car, as they're moving forward, wind the nut on. Otherwise, if one had a right, they both had right-hand threads on one side of the car, the nut would spin off and you'd lose a wheel. Now, you can't win races on three wheels. That is? That's Mika Häkkinen's bum. This is actually a moulding of the driver's backside. There's another one, slightly different, for David Coulthard. That's so they fit nice and snugly into the car. Now, you may remember a few years ago, Nigel Mansell drove a McLaren, and his seat moulding is at least that big. How do you turn one of these into one of these? Well, the answer is with one of these. This is a cutting device, but not like any other cutting device you've seen before, because all the cutting is done with this tiny, tiny metal wire. Now that wire on its own, because it's turning, would have a great job slicing through high tensile steel like this. So an electrical charge is introduced into the wire, a massive electrical charge, and then it's immersed in this bath here, and all the cutting takes place underwater. It takes about 5 hours to cut a gear out. And that means about 6,000 metres of wire are used up for every one of these. Like I said, it takes ages to do that, so look, here's one I did earlier. I don't know if you did technical drawing at school, but that is a technical drawing of one of these, which is what, James?
Well, actually, it's a clutch pedal that we use on the new 12A.
This is
McLaren.
so Mika Hakkinen or David Coulthard's foot will be on here.
Eventually, yes. Yeah.
It's incredibly light. It's very hard to describe exactly how light that is. What's it made of?
Well, it's made out of titanium. Some of the bushings are made in the machine shop, and the rest is either titanium tubing or titanium sheet.
And how many of these are you going to make for the season?
Well, it depends. If each driver wants a different one, then it's one each driver and each car that he has, and it's maybe 3 or 4 for each driver for the season.
Now, titanium is as strong as steel, yeah?
Well, no, they say it's as light as alley and as strong as steel.
And it's very expensive, probably.
And more expensive, yes.
How much is that worth?
It's basically priceless.
I know it doesn't look like one, but this is a Formula One car. Well, part of it anyway. This is what they call the monocoque, the tub, the body. It's actually made in a mould, and this is only the bottom half of it, is it?
Bottom half, yeah.
What's it made of, and how do you make it up?
It's made of carbon fibre, which has got a skin of carbon fibre each side of this honeycomb material, which is that.
Oh, that's the stuff down there, and that's just like aluminium. It's like a kind of a sponge in a way, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now, that's not very strong. Is it the carbon fibre that gives it the strength?
Yeah. When the carbon fibre's put each side of the honeycomb and it's cured and it goes hard, it actually becomes very stiff.
Right, okay. Well, let's have a look at carbon fibre. What is it?
That's a piece of carbon cloth.
Now, it's woven in 2 directions.
Yeah, woven carbon fibre into a cloth, and then it's impregnated with resin.
I'm feeling a little nervous because I'm sitting in an autoclave. Now, an autoclave is an oven, and this oven gets very hot, about 400 degrees centigrade, and that high temperature is used to cook the carbon fibre components of the car. And would you believe they are cooked in a bag? It's a kind of a boil in the bag Formula One car. Now, to give it extra strength, it's also cooked at very high pressure. So would you believe this isn't an oven? No, it's a pressure cooker. Well, I'm getting out of here before it's tea time. And when it's finished, it'll look like this. I know Formula One cars need to be light. It's hard to believe exactly how light some of those components are. This front tyre and this magnesium alloy wheel are so light that even a weakling like me can pick them up way above my head without breaking into a sweat. Once the various car parts have been manufactured, the next stage is to put them together. It's kind of like putting together a model car kit. Look, all those bits become a complete car, and just like a model car kit, the last stage, of course, is to stick on the stickers. Once the new McLaren is complete, the engine is fired up to check that everything's okay. Then the driver gets a seat fitting and some final adjustments are made. I had a chance to talk to David Coulthard to find out a little more about this car. It kind of looks like a jigsaw puzzle that's not been finished. Now, I know a lot about Formula One cars, but nowhere near as much as this guy, because this is David Coulthard, who's been a McLaren driver for 18 months now, yeah?
About that, yeah.
About. Tell me about this car then, David. This is yours, isn't it?
This is it. This is a brand new chassis that's been made up. This is chassis 2, and I know it's my car, despite the fact it doesn't have my name on, because it's got 3 pedals in there, where Mika only uses 2 pedal system and a hand clutch. Your front suspension, now, suspension's changed a lot in the last few years. It used to be just rods, now it's a flattened, what I call an aerodynamic section. I mean, what difference does that make to you as a driver? Well, it's quicker, and it just means that we see less time on the stopwatch is what we're trying to achieve, and basically they've just made it aerodynamic shape so there's less drag.
Can I just mention the front brakes before we go down? These are made out of carbon fibre as well. They're a different kind of carbon to the carbon fibre that you use on the body shell.
That's right. You've got carbon discs and pads, and when these are working at their proper temperature, they absolutely glow bright red with the heat that's generated. And they take about 3 months to make, because there's various processes you go through where they have to go in an oven, out of an oven, back in the oven. Take 3 months to make, and about 2 hours in an afternoon on a Sunday to destroy.
Ruin.
Yeah, to
the
ruin.
last one race.
Yeah.
You're an expensive driver, aren't you? The cockpit. This is your hot seat, your office in a way, isn't it?
That's right. Well, you're seeing it at the moment without a seat in, so it actually looks really quite big in there. But in reality, once you have a seat and all the other bits and pieces that go there, and of course the steering wheel on here, it's quite a cramped environment. And we also have a head restraint system which sticks out to about there, which is the new regulations to just be safer for an impact.
McLarens are particularly safe. I know you helped develop the side impact protection, and you have a padded steering wheel these days. Is that right?
Yeah, we've got a small pad on the steering wheel. That's just in case if you have a front impact and you come forward and bang your head on the wheel, which in actual fact happened to Mika in Australia, and that's just to try and reduce any chance of injury.
Radiators are very important to you. I mean, they're cooling just the engine, or what else?
Just the engine. You're getting technical now for me. This I know from here forward, so really from there back you need one of the mechanics or engineers. But as far as I'm aware, it only cools the engine. Or the hydraulics for the gearbox as well? Oil and water.
Hydraulic cooler.
Oil and water.
Oh, yeah, that's right. The hydraulic cooler feeds off the airbox, which obviously the airbox is normally here, and pushes down underneath that tray there and forces the air into the engine, and then that little hydraulic cooler there is for the gearbox and the other hydraulic.
It's rumoured to be one of the most powerful engines, if not the most powerful engine in Formula 1, is that right?
Mika and I would both still after more power, but I think the Mercedes-Benz engine is certainly up there. We had the fastest speed in Monza last year. It was 219 miles an hour or something like that at the end of the straight, so it's pretty quick.
So this is the quickest car in a straight line, or something close to it?
It was last year, but obviously this is the new car, so at the moment we hope it will be the quickest car in a straight line, but we don't know.
You'll find out. And the very back end, this is the gearbox. So your engine's there, it's got no silencer, it's just got an exhaust, you don't have to be quiet. And that's your gearbox, is that right?
Yep.
How many gears?
We've got 6 gears plus reverse.
Do you get possessive about the car, or is it the engineer's car and they loan it to you?
No, I get possessive about the car. I don't like having other people look at it, so I'm afraid that's it. Interview over.
Fine, okay, we'll move on. David Coulthard, pleasure to meet you, sir, and thank you very much indeed for that. And good luck for the season.
Thanks.
So far, the only people to have seen the new McLaren MP4 12 are ourselves and McLaren staff. However, tomorrow, it's revealed to the public for the very first time at a giant gala celebration at London's Alexandra Palace. Do you like my outfit? Silver and black, just like the new Mercedes McLaren. Now, somewhere in this building, there are press and media from all over the world, and they've come here to catch a glimpse of the new car. Now, I've also been told that they're expecting 1 or 2 international celebrities, and I might get a chance to talk to them, but first I've got to sneak in round the back. This might take some time, so while I do that, here's Biker Grove. Wish me luck.